And it all stemmed from this past weekend in San Diego with my Fox crew. 2 days in San Diego with the Navy SEALs and with all the other sailors there. And then a 2-hour show praising the military and all that they've done for us, celebrating Veterans Day. And we had our national anthem. I didn't have my hand over my chest. Everyone thought he's protesting. He's making a statement, which is so far from the truth. I have nothing to protest. I have no statement to be made. The only statement that should be made and that I want to make is I love the military. I've always loved the military, and I will always love the military. I do so many programs to help veterans and soldiers. I grew up on a military base with a father who's a major in the Army. My brother, my sister, my cousins, they all served in the military. I'm a military brat. And so the fact of somebody saying that, I'm unpatriotic couldn't be any further from the truth.
Let's discuss this after the break. Go ahead. In a country built on slavery, that was stolen, that claims to be all about freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom, just freedom. That country, you can't do anything wrong in that country. If it's perceived wrong, you're shunned. Perceived not to be let's say, patriotic. You should lose your livelihood. You should lose your status. And I'm going to go there. It seems to me this mostly happens with African American men, which is one of the big things that Trump tried to do with the election. You can do everything correctly, be a model citizen, give back to your school, speak eloquently, have no, how does one say, legal problems at all. Just be a model citizen. The second something is perceived as not being kosher, here it comes. Here comes the disrespect. Here comes the flat out hatred. Because in this country, you're not allowed to do anything separate. If you have any opinion, this country doesn't take it. Now, as a fellow Army brat, military brat, if you will, my biological father was 100% Navy. My grandfather, Navy, served in Korea. My stepfather, Army, trained people to go to the first Desert Storm. Uncle, Charles Ray Smith, Army. My whole family was military or police officers. But see, that shouldn't even matter. Michael Strahan was literally in San Diego. They were doing the Pledge of Allegiance or National Anthem. He didn't have his hand over his heart. I remember a couple of years ago, me, my wife, and my son made this trip from Austin, Texas, back to Kansas. I wanted to show them what I remembered about Kansas. So what I did was went to Kansas City, well, Olathe. I wanted to get barbecue. Wanted to go out to see the Negro League Museum. Walk through the Chiefs Stadium. They were going to Arthur Bryant's. And then decided to drive back across the state to get a hotel for the night to go chill and watch the debut of Coach Kleiman. So we ended up being in Junction City. If you know Kansas, you know Junction City. We went to Fort Riley. I showed them where I grew up at. And then went to Manhattan. Got there right before the game started. Walked right to the stadium. Walked right up into the stadium. Found our seats. Pretty good seats. Like 50-yard line, section 3. Very good seats. Got there in time for the national anthem. This was around the time, I believe it was 2019. Went up there, I had some back problems, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big dude, walking away across that field. I kind of had a little pain. Sitting down, had on my Kansas City Chiefs Alex Smith jersey. And national anthem went on, and I couldn't get up. I remember hearing this little girl behind me. Ask her mom, why is he not getting up? Is he part of the protest? Well, I looked around and saw where I was at. I love Kansas. K-State, I looked around the crowd, at least in my area. We were the only black spot, the only brown and black spot in the area. So everything we did was magnified. That's the same thing that happens, Mr. Strahan. If you look at the spot he's in, yes, there are black people on the morning show. But in general, on television, there are very few minorities. So everything he does, especially at his level, is magnified. Well, you're probably asking yourself, well, why does that have to do with anything with Trump? You have Latinos for Trump, Arab Americans for Trump, like black folks for Trump too. Why is that on the picture? Because everything that they're going to do is going to be magnified. There's one thing this country has known for doing. If it's something good that happens for one person of a certain race, that one person did that. If it's bad, everybody did it. If you don't think Michael Strahan knows, if this gets out of hand, if it doesn't get addressed, there will not be another person of his ilk to reach his status for a long time. And for those who might ask themselves, why is this important on my channel? This at heart is an HBCU channel. This channel is about HBCU life, and supposedly barbecue. So when it comes down to it, one of the greatest HBCU alums, dignitaries, and even, if you want to call it, shining lights, Michael Strahan. He gets attacked for something so simple, especially knowing what he does, what he's growing up as, the military. It's called unpatriotic. It's the same kind of line they used back in the early 2000s when they invaded Iraq, the wrong country, trying to find WMDs. If you questioned George Bush, if you question any Republican, say, hey, maybe you're wrong. Let's try something else. You call an American. If you didn't have those support our troops fish on the back of your car, you're an American. Of course, they were made in China, but that's a different discussion. Anytime you question anything American, even if you're trying to better it, the answer was simple. You don't love it, leave it. Now with the rhetoric being tossed up there and mass deportations coming down the pike, with the Muslim travel ban coming back down the pike, with the lack of diversity of any kind on Trump's cabinet coming down the pike, what do you think's next? There's already going to be a lack of candor. There's going to be a lack of control of verbiage. A lot of cocky motherfuckers out here, basically, looking for any inkling of a way to tear you down. But that's what you wanted. That's what y'all voted for. That's what y'all want to see happen. Anything you do, especially if you're a minority. So take that back. Anything you do, if you're at a certain level, it's magnified 1,000%. Celebrity, non-celebrity, politician, worker, anything is magnified 1,000%. From a man, like he said, grew up in the military, as a military brat, with the family credentials that they have, the charities he gives back to, the love and respect for the U.S. military that he has been shown over the years and decades, to be questioned about patriotism because one time he forgot to put his hand over his heart. And to have these MAGA people gain traction online because, let's be honest, Twitter is now a MAGA support group. I'm not lying. What do you think's next? My name is Coach Simmons. I think it's time that America grows a pair of balls. Stop being so offended by everybody. Everybody. But at the same time, show respect to everybody. Mental health's a problem, people. Let's not amplify it online. Coach Simmons, I'm out.